Welcome back to the Independent News Network, where you can break free from the corporate lies and get your unfiltered truth and fearless reporting. This is where real news lives. Subscribe now. Now let's get into this. I'm sure I'll be calling out some outrageous lies again.
But we begin with President Trump intensifying his immigration crackdown after an Afghan national was accused of shooting 2 National Guard members in D.C. The day after the shooting, Trump posted on Truth Social, he plans to permanently pause migration from what he calls all third world countries. He did not specify which countries he believes fall under such a label or how that ban would work. He also appeared to threaten people who are already U.S. citizens. Trump wrote that he would denaturalize migrants who undermine domestic tranquility, deport foreign nationals he deems non-compatible with Western civilization. Certainly some choice language. Hours later, the State Department paused all asylum decisions and halted visa processing for people from Afghanistan.
Tell you right now, all I have to say is the Biden administration let in millions of people unvetted. We have no idea who they are. And I say, yes, let's look into every single person that came in the past 4 years and go through them with a fine-tooth comb and weed out all the illegal immigrants that should not be here. Plain and simple. If you entered our country illegally, you need to go.
These moves come amid growing backlash against Trump's treatment of people not born in the U.S. Yesterday in New York City, several protesters were arrested after demonstrators blocked federal immigration agents inside a Manhattan parking garage, an hours-long standoff that appeared to disrupt a planned ICE raid in the neighborhood. But it's not just New York. At a congressional hearing in Los Angeles, dozens testified about the fear and upheaval gripping immigrant communities across Southern California after months of raids by federal agents. Here's how Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who's sitting right next to us, framed the administration's immigration enforcement.
The idea that someone ran and said that I will get rid of the bad guys, yet we know more than 50% of the people that are currently being detained in custody have no criminal records at all. Zero, nada. So tell me why you are taking those people out of...
Tell you why. Because if they are here illegally, and if they came here illegally, and if their first move coming into America was illegal, then they gotta go.
Their communities. They are our neighbors. They are our friends. And frankly, they contribute to the fabric of this country. They are what make this country great, not your thuggish ICE agents.
Joining us now is the person you just heard, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett of Texas. She also serves on the House Oversight Committee. She's a busy lady. I want to hear...
And one of the dumbest people in Congress, I might add.
...about the stories that you heard when you were on the ground in Los Angeles for this hearing that we just teased, about the stories that immigrants, I imagine some who are not U.S. citizens and some who actually might be U.S. citizens, and what they had to tell you guys.
Yeah, so first of all, we heard the story of a U.S. citizen who was on her way to work. And as she tried to tell them, listen, I'm a U.S. citizen, they would not listen, and she was taken into custody. We also heard about just the conditions, the horrific conditions that human beings are being kept in, the unsanitary conditions. But here's the reality. We went to L.A. I've been to Chicago to hear stories about, you know, how much force is being used when people are being detained. But, you know, I can go right home. And I know the stories of my constituents. I know about a young lady who's only 21 years old and had consistently showed up to her appointments, and she was nabbed at one of those appointments. Her family said, make sure she's got her diabetic medication. They tried to give it to them. They would not take it. Ultimately, 5 days later, when they didn't give her medication, they had to take her to a hospital. They then put her back into custody, and ultimately there were issues with literally, like, I won't get so graphic, but involving urine and some other things.
Feel free to get graphic.
Well, I mean, there were allegations that because they were actually depriving them of water, that they literally were having to drink their own urine.
I don't know how these people get to go on here and spew stupid lies like that. You know damn well no one's drinking their own urine, and you know damn well no one's being refused any kind of water. When you're in jail or you're in prison or you're in any incarceration, they have everything there for you. Water, sewer, and a nice good old slab stone bed for your ass.
this can't be America. But obviously, in Trump's America, this is exactly what he wants. And the idea that one person can get out of line and commit such a horrific crime as shooting two National Guardsmen that never, ever asked to be here. In fact, we know the young lady that lost her life, specifically, we're saying that this is a waste of time. But now you want to go against every single immigrant. That doesn't make sense. And it's frankly not who we are, because if that's the case, let's talk about the white supremacists and how many of them need to be kicked out of this country, because I can guarantee you I can track down more crimes that they've committed, because overall immigrants have a lower crime committal rate.
Tired of them always calling them immigrants. They need to call them for what they are. Illegal immigrants.
Supremacists, but we don't want to talk about that in this country.
I mean, the FBI has for years said that homegrown terrorism is
correct.
A much bigger issue than
And now Lionel Richie wants to pipe up and speak up. Shut the fuck up.
Anything from any other country. One of the things that we keep hearing the president say is that he is going to denaturalize people. There should be people denaturalized, people who don't adhere to Western civilization values, whatever that means. I'm curious what you think about that, because one, it's not something he can do, right? He can't go around waving a wand and denaturalize people. There's a process. He's not supposed to.
I'm sorry to tell you, but if you're a naturalized citizen and you don't follow the Western values and you display some type of anti-Semitic or some type of Muslim or some type of anti-American views, your green card should be revoked and you should be deported, plain and simple, 100%.
Okay.
There's a legal process to that.
Yeah.
But what do you think is actually behind that? Because he probably knows that he can't do it, but what do you think he's trying to signal?
I think he is trying to do what he's always done, which is instill fear. He wants people to go into the shadows. He wants people to hide out the way that they're doing right now. People are not sending their kids to school. They're not showing up to work. He is wanting people to be terrified, and he only wants his kind of people on the streets. He wants everyone else to kind of languish in the shadows. But we can start with the fact that he's married a couple of immigrants himself, and we can start there if we about to start denaturalizing. I'm just saying.
Let me ask you guys an honest question. Why is it so important for illegal aliens, illegal immigrants to be in our country? Why do Democrats want to fight for them so hard? It doesn't make no sense to me. They don't fight for the American people. It makes no sense to me. I don't understand how they can justify it. They're literally fighting an 80-20 issue. 80% of the people do not want illegal immigration. They want voter ID. They want one-day voting. I don't understand how we've gotten to this point. And I just can't believe we have these idiots defending illegal aliens, illegal activities, and even criminals in big cities. They defend them.
Jonathan.
Congresswoman, you mentioned children not going to school as a result of the fear that's being instilled by the president. That's something that we should
The only reason you would have fear is if you're here illegally.
be talking more about, and that's children who are being caught up in all of this. ProPublica had a story out on Monday. ICE sent 600 this year. It's a new record. In a majority of the cases we examined, kids ended up in shelters in ways government officials say they never would have in the past, after routine immigration court hearings or appointments, or because they were at a home or a business when immigration authorities showed up to arrest someone else.
But they failed to mention the 300,000 kids that are missing are probably being subjected to some evil things.
Making it harder and harder for relatives or other adults who act as sponsors to get them back. The average length of stay has grown to nearly 6 months, up from 1 month during the presidency of Joe Biden, public data shows.
This is the pro-life party.
Yeah, and they were releasing people that had addresses to a strip club and to parking lots and to who God knows where. They released kids to people that they don't even know where they're at. They lost 300,000 kids. So I don't want to hear this type of crap. I don't want to hear this bull crap about Biden administration. They lost 300,000 kids. I do not understand how these people are able to go on television and lie through their teeth and lie through their damn faces. It makes no sense. I don't understand how they can just go up here and lie.
It's more so logistical than anything at this point in time. But for sure, we did not stop our evaluation because the evaluation made it clear that the coalition that won on November 4th, Black and brown folk, when you look at the numbers in New Jersey, when you look at the numbers in Virginia, it was making sure that Black and brown, number one, showed up and voted the right way. I am the leading candidate when it comes to those two specific constituencies. And so it does make it to where I am very formidable, regardless of kind of what people may want to put out into the atmosphere. The numbers are the numbers. So we will see if execution is something that looks like a reality in a state of 30 million in basically a year trying to get this done.
Her congressional district was drawn out. She ain't gonna be nowhere in Congress. That's why she's flirting running for Senate and crap. But we all know she's never gonna make it through a Senate vote. She's gonna get squashed like the little rat she is. Thanks for watching the Independent News Network, your source for unfiltered truth. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and stay independent. See you in the next one.